ہائے شبیر کو مہمان بنایا نہ گیا، شاہدی اٹھ گئے دنیا سے مگر سن لے یزید، شاہدی اٹھ گئے دنیا سے مگر سن لے یزید، تو نے کلمے کو مٹانا تھا مٹایا نہ گیا، ہائے شبیر کو مہمان بنایا نہ گیا، سب کی لاشیں تو اٹھا لی مگر اے ابن علی، سب کی لاشیں تو اٹھا لی مگر اے ابن علی، کچھ تو ہے لاشائے اکبر جو اٹھایا نہ گیا، ہائے شبیر کو مہمان بنایا نہ گیا، وا محمد والی فاطمہ زہرا و حسن، یا محمد والی فاطمہ زہرا و حسن، اے مسلمان کہو کس کو ستایا نہ گیا، ہائے شبیر کو مہمان بنایا نہ گیا، اس قدر لوٹ مچی خیمے جلے در بیچنی، اس قدر لوٹ مچی خیمے جلے در بیچنی، پھر بھی سجاد کو کیوں ہوش میں لایا نہ گیا، ہائے شبیر کو مہمان بنایا نہ گیا، مار کر لوٹ لیا وعدہ نبھایا نہ گیا، محمد وآل محمد صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم۔
صلی اللہ نبی کربل کی کہانی جب کوئی بھی سنائے گا، دل والوں کے آنکھوں سے ایک دریا بہائے گا، وہ کارواں سرور کا جو شان سے نکلا تھا، صغرا کو خبر کیا تھی نہ لوٹ کے آئے گا، صغرا کو خبر کیا تھی نہ لوٹ کے آئے گا، مہمان بلایا ہے اے کوفیو سرور کو، کیا کنبہ شاہدی کا پانی نہیں پائے گا، کیا کنبہ شاہدی کا پانی نہیں پائے گا، پامال ہوا قاسم یوں گورو کتابوں سے، کس طرح چچا تیری میت کو اٹھائے گا، کس طرح چچا تیری میت کو اٹھائے گا، تھا ہاتھوں کے کٹنے کا کچھ ہم نہ دلاور کو، سیدانیوں کا پردہ اب کون بچائے گا، سیدانیوں کا پردہ اب کون بچائے گا، ٹوٹی ہے کمر شہ کی گھبرانا مگر اکبر، فرزند نبی تیری لاشے کو اٹھائے گا، فرزند نبی تیری لاشے کو اٹھائے گا، سوتے نہ تھے تم اصغر جھولے میں تڑپتے تھے، دنیا کو خبر کیا تھی ایک تیر سلائے گا، دنیا کو خبر کیا تھی ایک تیر سلائے گا، اصحاب نے دم توڑا شبیر کے زانوں پر، کس زانوں پہ سر اپنا شبیر کٹائے گا، کس زانوں پہ سر اپنا شبیر کٹائے گا. سرور نے اٹھائے تھے سب ساتھیوں کے لاشیں. شبیر تیرا لاشا اب کون اٹھائے گا. شبیر تیرا لاشا اب کون اٹھائے گا. کربل کی کہانی جب کوئی بھی سنائے گا. دل والوں کے آنکھوں سے ایک دریا بہائے گا. پر محمد وآل محمد صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Our guest speaker, Dr. Akber Mithani. Dear elders, brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum. Tomorrow morning, inshallah, we'll have our ladies' majalis beginning at 11 a.m. In the evening, our program will start at 7 p.m. with Maghribain Salat. An update to announcement yesterday, we had announced that Brother Shahid Baltistani will be joining us on Friday night. That's been corrected to Saturday night, not Friday night. Tonight's Niyaz Fund is open. Tonight's Surah Yasin was recited for Ithal al-Thawab of Marhum Ahmad Khalfan, Marhuma Zainab by Ahmad Khalfan, Marhum Ahmad Ali Amir Khalfan, sponsored by family members. Al-Fatiha. Muhammad wa ali Muhammad salawat.
حبیب خدا و ختم انبیاء باواز بلند صلوات.
سورة المباركة الفاتحة. Please let's recite once Fatiha for Shafai Mariz, for all those who are sick and in difficulties. Especially if you could also remember my mother, inshallah, who is also going through some challenges with illnesses. So Surah Fatiha of Shafai Mariz, please. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين شفيع المذنبين وخاتم النبيين نبينا وشفينا وحبيب قلوبنا وطبيب نفوسنا أبي القاسم محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المنتجبين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. فإليك يا رب نسبت وجهي وإليك يا رب مددت يدي. فبعزتك استجب لدعائي وبلغني منايا ولا تقطع من فضلك رجائي واكفني شر الجن والإنس من أعدائي يا سريع الرضا اغفر لمن لا يملك إلا الدعاء فإنك فعال لما تشاء يا من اسمه دواء وذكره شفاء وطاعته غنى ارحم من رأس ماله الرجاء وسلاؤه المقى يا سابغ النعم يا دافع النقم يا نور المستوحشين في الظلم يا عالما لا يعلم صل على محمد وآل محمد وافعل بما أنت أهل وصلى الله على رسوله والأئمة الميامين من آله وسلم تسليما كثيرا كثيرا. Amma ba'd. Respected scholars, elders of the community, my brothers and sisters in Islam, Salamun alaykum jami'an wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. أعظم الله أجورنا وأجوركم بمسابنا بأبي عبد الله الحسين عليه الصلاة والسلام. One of the key questions that is on the minds of many of us, and including the youngsters, is around the concept of spirituality. And the question, of course, is that what exactly is spirituality? Sometimes people say give different names to it, and they talk about irfan and so on and so forth. But what it boils down to, if you just take away all the names and different terminologies, really the question around that is on many of the minds of people, especially the youngsters who go to universities and schools, is what is exactly spirituality? What is it? What does it mean to be a spiritual person? Now, we have wishy-washy definitions of spirituality. For example, for some people, spirituality is the ability to do something different, to do something that other people cannot do, or to have some special powers. For some people, it is the ability to see visions and the ability to see dreams. For some people, spirituality is an emotion. It's a feeling that they have. They'll tell you that when I listen to a particular type of music, or I do some meditation, or some people, even if they do martial arts, they say that I feel very spiritual when I do that. So the question is, what is spirituality according to Islam? And that's what we want to try and grapple with today. You see, the way we know things is we know things through mental constructs or concepts. We develop certain concepts in our minds, and that's how we have knowledge. So we have a concept or an image of something in our mind. Even scientific laws or even nature, scientific concepts, these are all concepts in our mind. Why? Because we have created an image of it in our mind. Even if you see, for example, for the youngsters, if I say to you, what's a triangle? And you think about an isosceles triangle or an equilateral triangle or a triangle that is a right angle triangle, you know what it is because you have a concept of it in your mind. I ask you, what's a car? And you know what a car is because you have created an image or a concept of that car in your mind. And sometimes, or many times, even our knowledge of religion is like that. We know that God exists because we have created an image of God in our mind. That's how we know He exists. We know the oneness of God because we have created a concept of Tawheed in our mind. We know, for example, that God is just because we have a concept of justice in our mind. We know that God is merciful because we have a concept of mercy in our mind. This is conceptual knowledge that we have. And to a large extent, our religion, unfortunately, is based on conceptual knowledge. However, there are certain things that we know not because it is a concept in our mind, but it is because it is an experience in our heart. For example, I know that I exist not because I have a concept of it in my mind, but because I experience my own existence in my heart. Another example is the concept, for example, of pain. I know I have pain not because I have a concept of pain in my mind, it's because I have experienced pain, and that is how I know I have pain. And you ask somebody who has pain, can you describe it to me? It's very hard for that person to describe pain conceptually. Why? Because he experiences it himself. So there are two ways to knowledge. Either it is conceptual in our minds, or it is experiential in our hearts. Now, can you imagine if we were able to take the concept of the existence of God, or if we were able to take the concept of the oneness of God, or the justice of God, the concept of the mercy of God, and if we were able to turn this concept into an experience of God, if we were able to experience the mercy of God, of Allah, if we were able to experience the justice of Allah, if we were able to have all of those experiences of the attributes and characteristics and names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what if we were able to experience Allah in as much as we are able to experience our own selves? What an amazing thing that would be. That, my friends, is spirituality. Taking the concept of God, taking the concept of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and changing that concept into an experience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that is spirituality. That is nothing else. And when people talk about, Sayr al-Suluk and journeying and all of these things, which is the terminologies that you would see in Irfan, for example, that's all that terminology is about. It's about taking the concept of God and traveling and journeying towards having the experience of God within yourself. That is spirituality. Conceptual knowledge, moving it to experiential knowledge. It's philosophical, isn't it? Kind of a bit heavy today, eh? It's important. It's, we got to be a little bit heavy sometimes, right? We got to get a little bit beyond where we're stuck normally, right? But work with me, right? It'll get clearer, I hope. So the question, of course, that you all have, and that I have, is that how do I convert? How do I convert the concept of Allah into having the experience of Allah? How do I convert my concept, my conceptual knowledge of God to an experiential knowledge of God? By reading books? By attending more lectures? Well, by reading books and attending more lectures will do what? It will just generate more concepts for you. Right? The way you convert conceptual knowledge of Allah into experiential knowledge is by reflecting the names and attributes of Allah within yourself. This is where the relationship of spirituality comes with morality and ethics. The only way I can convert that knowledge conceptually to an experiential knowledge is to start to reflect, start to manifest the names and attributes of God within myself. It's by performing those righteous deeds. It's by becoming more merciful. It's by having more justice in my life. It's by having more forgiveness in my life. It's by having more kindness in my life. It's by having more generosity in my life. The more we manifest the attribute of God, the more we will experience that attribute of God. The more we show love towards others, the more we will experience the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The more mercy we show to our family members, or the members of the community, for example, of our brothers and sisters, the more mercy we show towards them, the more mercy of Allah we will experience within ourselves. It's all interconnected. It's not appropriate, to look at this concept in isolation. That's the trap that people fall into. The moment you start to just look at spirituality on its own, then what do? Then you get to a point where you say, oh, I'm very spiritual. I'm very close to God. I'm so close to God now I don't even have to pray anymore. And I don't even know, this is true. This is what people are doing. This is what people are doing. So I'm so close to God. What's the point in praying anymore? I'm really close. I'm connected with Him, right? I don't need to fast. I don't need to pray. I'm, with God. I'm so close to God. But we don't understand. This is not the type of irfan that is taught to us by the Ahlul Bayt and the Holy Prophet. The irfan, or the spirituality that we are taught, is a spirituality that says, how do I journey from concept to experience? The only way is I need to reflect those names and attributes within myself. And that's where Sharia comes in. That's where morality comes in. That's where ethics comes in. We have to look at this in a continuum, right? Ayatollah Mutahari, he talks about the outer shell being Sharia, then the inner kernel being morality and ethics, and then the kernel of the kernel, which is where the juice is, right in the middle, that is where he says is spirituality. It's a process, right, where we move from one to another. We can't be stuck in that first outer shell. We need to move. Islam does not want you to be static. Islam wants you to be dynamic. It wants movement. Once, if I have a chance ever, inshallah, again, may Allah give me life, I'll talk to you about some concept called Harkat Jawhari. It's all about movement. How do you move? Now, Ibn Sina, who was one of the great philosophers, he describes it beautifully. And he looks at the comparison of a Zahid, an Abid, and an Arif. Yes? It's going to be heavy. I know. I'm just wondering if I should do this. But let's go for it, yeah? Because I think it's going to be good for us, eh? And maybe we may have to listen to this again just to get the concepts clear in our minds. So he talks about a Zahid, an Abid, and an Arif. Now you can be a Zahid without being an Arif. And you can be an Abid without being a Arif. But you cannot be an arif without being a zahid and an abid. Got it? Yeah. Okay. So zuhud, for example, or a zahid, is that person who abstains, right? He has abstinence from all worldly enjoyments, right? He disconnects himself with the world, right? From all worldly desires, from all the base desires. An abid or ibadah, of course, you know that it's the performance of specific acts of worship, like prayer, like fasting, like reciting the Quran, and so on and so forth. An arif, or somebody who is, from the works of irfan, an arif is a person who turns away his mind from everything other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's not interested in anything other than paying attention to the divine essence, to the essence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's what an arif is. Right? Now, the zahid, who is not an arif, right? Let's talk about him for a minute. The zahid, who is not an arif, he disconnects from the worldly desires, yes? He disconnects from this dunya. The reason he disconnects from this dunya is, for him, it's a transaction. Because he knows that by disconnecting from the worldly pleasures, he will get the pleasures of the hereafter. Not a bad thing, right? But that's the reason why he does it. He does it because he knows, if I keep away from the base desires in this world, then I will get rewarded for it in the hereafter. There is a bit of selfishness in that, isn't there? If you think about it. An abid is a person who performs acts of worship, and the reason he performs acts of worship is because he knows that these acts of worship will give him a reward. Sawab or ajr, whatever you want to call it. So he performs these acts of worship also as a transaction, because he knows that if I perform this, I will get a reward, and this reward will be my reward for the hereafter. However, and even in that, there is a little bit of selfishness, isn't there? He performs it because he wants the rewards of the hereafter. It's not a bad thing, but that's the reason why he performs it. An arif, however, when an arif dissociates himself from everything, he does that only because his sole purpose is to have the attention of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He does not dissociate himself because of anything else. He shuns away everything that is not going to give him that color of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The reason he performs acts of worship, he knows that by performing these acts of worship, it will create an existential existence within him. It will create an existence within him that will be more divine in nature and will be more reflective of Allah. That's why he performs the acts of worship. He doesn't care about Jannah. That's not his focus. His focus is basically, to move from the realm of illusion into the realm of what is called the real, the truth, to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is why Amirul Mu'mineen salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi, he says that, "Oh my God, oh my Allah, I do not worship you out of the fear of your fire, nor do I worship you because of the desire of paradise. I worship you because I feel you to be worthy of worship." That's what it means. The master of spirituality is Amirul Mu'mineen. I worship you because I think you are worthy of being worshipped. The journey of going, therefore, from concept to experience is a spiritual journey, right? When people talk about this, not a physical journey. When people talk about ascending to Allah and descending back, it's not a physical journey in time and space, right? That journey happens through greater awareness of yourself. It happens through self-realization, and that greater awareness and self-realization is called ma'arifah. It is knowing Allah more and more. The more you have that self-realization, the more you have that awareness of God, the more ma'arifah you have, right? Man arafa nafsa fakat arafa rabba. Right? This is the Prophet's hadith or even Imam Ali's hadith. And that hadith is very clearly irfanic. If you have that self-realization, man arafa nafsa, you have that self-awareness. Once you create that self-awareness in you, you will start to feel the manifestation of God within you. Right? And this is what is meant by going from zulumat to nur. You know how many times the Quran talks about, from going from zulumat to nur. Nur ila zulumat, from nur ila zulumat, Ayatul Kursi, and there's so many ayats that talk about from nur to zulumat. Ayatullah Jawadi Amuli says that the purpose of the mission of Aba Abdullah al-Hussein was to take people from darkness to light, from zulumat to nur. Now this journey from darkness to light is a spiritual journey, right? It's not a physical journey. It's like a person who is blind. So if you think about a person who is blind, for example, when that person is blind, the person does not know what is around him. He cannot see what is around him, right? He can imagine, he conceptually imagines what a tree may look like. He conceptually imagines what a mountain looks like. He's blind, he cannot see it. But the moment he has sight, he now sees the reality in front of him. The reality is always there. When he's blind, the mountain is always there. The trees are always there. The nature is always there. The color is always there. He's not able to see it because he's blind. But as he journeys from darkness to light, he now starts to perceive them and he starts to experience it. He experiences those realities that were always there. And that's what the journey means. From darkness to light. From zulumat to nur. That is what spirituality is. The reality, Allah says to you, I'm closer to you than your jugular vein. If He's closer to us than our jugular vein, then why don't we feel Him? Because we are blind. And the only way to be enlightened is to start to reflect His names and attributes within yourself. And the way you do that is through Islamic morality and ethics. It's building your character will allow you to do that. And when that person, as we sort of do this journey and make this journey, we end up achieving higher and higher and higher stations of spirituality. It's a journey, right? So it's not like, we live in this world of instant gratification right now, right? It's like, I want something, I want it right now, right? It's not like that anymore, right? This journey is a journey that happens in stages. So, when you look at, the great Urafa, they will talk to you about different levels. 99 levels and 100 levels, and each level has 10 different stages and so on and so forth. right? It's because it's a journey that comes in stations, in certain levels. But as you start to acquire the higher levels, the manifestation of God becomes more apparent in you, and you start to feel Him more inside of you. And a person who is able to witness the presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, where he is manifesting the names and attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in a harmonious way, all of the attributes in a harmonious and integrated way, when he gets to that highest level, where he is manifesting all the names and attributes of Allah in a harmonious and integrated way, he at that level becomes the wali of Allah. At that level, he does not have any self-will anymore. He does not have any self-will anymore. He surrenders completely to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's why Allah says of the Prophet in the Holy Quran, وَمَا تَشَاءُونَ إِلَّا أَن يَشَاءَ اللَّهُ. He says to the Holy Prophet, you shall not will except that everything you will is what Allah wills. You do not will, O Prophet. Everything that you will is what Allah wills. The stage where that person reaches the peak of conviction, the peak of conviction completely dissolved in God, in such a way, to such an extent that person is dissolved in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that now even his actions and his thoughts are not his anymore. They are not his actions. They are not his thoughts. It is now Allah manifesting Himself through His wali. He is not in control anymore. It is Allah who controls him. It's Quran. Look at what the Quran says. فَلَمَّا تَقْتُلُوهُمْ وَلَكِنَّ اللَّهَ قَتَلَهُمْ وَمَا رَمَيْتَ إِذْ رَمَيْتَ وَلَكِنَّ اللَّهَ رَمَى. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says about the Holy Prophet, He says, you did not kill them. It was Allah who killed them. And then when the Holy Prophet threw some dust and stones at the other group, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran says, you Muhammad did not throw. It was I, Allah, who threw. You did not throw, it was I who threw. And it's very important to understand this, because our other brothers and sisters in different sects, they say, well, you call Ali ibn Abi Talib Yadullah, Lisanullah, Wajhullah, right? This is shirk. It's shirk unless you actually look at it this way. If you understand that Ali ibn Abi Talib's spirituality was so high, at such a peak, that it was now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reflecting Himself through His wali, then when he takes that door of Khaybar up, and we call him Yadullah, it is not Ali who is doing it, it is Allah who is using Ali as the means to do it. It's very different. Then it's not shirk anymore. All the miracles can actually be interpreted to this way. Consider this hadith of Qurb Nawafil. There are hadiths of Qurb Nawafil and Qurb Faraiz. This hadith of Qurb Nawafil and Qurb Faraiz is found in every book, Sunni and Shia. Our brothers in Ahl Sunnah also have described this hadith, and in the exact same way it has also come to us in our books, in Al-Qafi, for example, whereby Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that when my servant reaches this level, how does my servant reach this level, O Allah? He says, when my servant reaches this level where he is performing his wajibat and he does his mustahabat, then he says he gets to this level where his morality and ethics is at such a level where he's reflecting my names and attributes. When he does this, he says, then my servant approaches me to an extent that I will love him. And then Allah says that whenever I love a servant, I will be his ear through which he hears. And I will be his eyes through which he sees. And I will be his hands through which he performs his actions. Allah says, I will be the one. Look at the capacity of the human being. Amazing capacity. In Hadith Qudsi, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Yabna Adam, O the progeny of Adam, Ana malikun la azul. I am that king that never perishes. Iza qultu li shay'in kun fayakun. When I say to something be, it becomes. But then he says, Yabna Adam, O the progeny of Adam, Ati'ani fima amartuk. Worship me in the way that I have asked you to worship me. Wantahi amma nahaytuk. And stay away from all those things that I have forbidden for you. If you worship me the way I have asked you to worship me, and stay away from all those things that I have forbidden for you, then what? Hatta taqula li shay'in kun fayakun. I will make you such that you will say to something be, and it will become. Allahu Akbar. I will make you divine, he says. You will say to something be, and it will become. Don't think this is can only be done by imams and prophet. No. It can be done by all human beings. Capacity is there. It's how much we move from concept to experience, right? And this is the reason why it is sometimes very difficult for people to understand the spiritual significance of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Because they have difficulty, especially if you come from different religious backgrounds, because they do not see him as the greatest, most complete and harmonious manifestation of Allah's names and attributes. They do not understand that the greatest, most perfect manifestation of the names and attributes of Allah is Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is where the concept of Haqiqat-e Muhammadiyah comes. This is what Haqiqat-e Muhammadiyah is. Haqiqat-e Muhammadiyah is that reality, is that Allah in His essence can only be known by Allah, not by anybody else. With respect, even not by the Prophet. Nobody has access to Allah in His essence. The access is through His manifestation. Through His manifestation. And the greatest, most perfect manifestation of Allah is Haqiqat-e Muhammadiyah. Right? It's very important to understand that. Because the earthly career of the Prophet seems often too human for people. Right? They say to themselves that, he's too engrossed in the vicissitudes of social life and economic life and political activity. How can he serve as a model of spirituality? How can he serve as a model of spirituality? People think that way, right? The reason for this difficulty that they have is because they have not understood that the spiritual nature of the Holy Prophet is veiled in his human nature. It's not separate, right? It's not separate. And in the modern world, right, in which religion is separated from other domains of life, right, where you have separation of the state and the church, it's very hard to understand this, right? Because they are unable to imagine a spiritual being who would be so immersed in this worldly affairs. It's a guy who married, who had wives, who had children, who was running a state, who was involved in political activity, was involved in battles. There were problems everywhere, social, political, societal. How can this person be spiritual? They do not understand that the Prophet's participation in social and political life was precisely that, to integrate this domain into a spiritual center. This is what we learn from the Ahlul Bayt. We don't learn from the Ahlul Bayt that if you want to be spiritual, then go into the mountains and isolate yourself. That's the only way you're going to be spiritual. That is not a kamal. The kamal is that you live in this world as a human being. You get married, you have children, you have problems, you work, you do everything. But in all of the things that you're doing, all you witness and observe is Allah. That is the challenge, right? The goal, is to integrate spirituality in your day-to-day living. That was the purpose that would be grounded in divine values. That's why the Prophet came. True spirituality is when you're able to manifest the names and the attributes of Allah to its fullest capacity and see nothing but divine color in your day-to-day life. And that's what he came down for. He came down to break this dichotomy. Came down to break this dichotomy of separating the faith from the state. He brought a complete religion, one that was immersed in spirituality, that was integrated into the day-to-day living of the individual. His goal was to develop an individual who was going to be perfect. Insane Kamil, right? A perfect human being. A human being that would be able to realize his own full potential and capacity. That's what he wanted, right? And when he wanted to develop that perfect human being, he understood that the only way to develop that perfect human being is to take them from darkness to light through developing their morality and their character. And so when somebody said to the Holy Prophet, what's your purpose? Why did you come to this world? What was the purpose that God sent you to this world? He said, إِنَّمَا بُئِثْتُ لِأُتَمِّمَ مَكَارِمُ الْأَخْلَاقِ. He says, I've only come here. He emphasizes, the only purpose of my being here is to perfect your morality. Not to establish your morality. Because everybody has the innate capacity to be a moral and ethical being. He says, I have come here, إِنَّمَا بُئِثْتُ لِأُتَمِّمَ مَكَارِمُ الْأَخْلَاقِ. I have come here to perfect your morality in such a way that as you become moral in your character, you will move from concept to experience. Mullah Sadra, one of the great Urafa, he talks about the Holy Prophet as two sides of a coin. He says one side of the Prophet is total divinity, and the other side of the Prophet is total humanity. He is divine in his humanity, and he is human in his divinity. Think about that. He is divine in his humanity, and he is human in his divinity. And that's why Allah announces his prophethood at the age of 40. Because he wants the Prophet to establish a groundwork and a framework for morality. They called Prophet many, many names. He is, na'uzubillah, he's crazy and he's majnoon and pagal and this and magician and all of this. Nobody was able to say in history that he is a liar or he is not trustworthy. He was given the title of As-Sadiq and Al-Amin before his announcement of prophethood. Why? To say to Allah, man, you should have just given him prophethood at birth, just like you did to Nabi Isa. Why give him prophethood at 40? No. Allah says he is the perfect prophet. He is the seal of the prophet. So I'm going to establish that moral and ethical framework first so that he can live with the people. He can eat with the people. He marries, he has children, he has political life, he has all of those things. And then he can show you that within that you can become spiritual. He brought a living Islam, my friends. An Islam that was going to be dynamic. A living Islam. And today, you see that the fact that he brought a living Islam has led to an attack on him by non-Muslims. An attack on his character. All the attacks on the Prophet, you will see, are attacks on the character of the Prophet. Why? Because they know, eliminate or defame the character of Muhammad and you will eliminate La ilaha illallah. Even amongst the Muslim, people consider him as a mailman. He just brought the message. You will hear people say this, even amongst the Muslims. He just brought the message and nothing else. He is not just the messenger. The Holy Prophet is not just the messenger. He is the message itself. He's not just the messenger. He is the message, the living, talking message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because he's the greatest manifestation of Allah. He is the living Quran. Once, the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was going to a battle. And they were leaving Medina to go to a battle. And a Bedouin Arab came. The Prophet was on his horse. They were moving to go towards a battle. And a Bedouin Arab came and got hold of the reins of the Holy Prophet. And this Bedouin Arab says, Bedouin Arab means he was from the village, right? He didn't know. And the Bedouin Arab said to the Holy Prophet, he says, "You are Muhammad? I've been hearing about this guy Muhammad. Are you Muhammad?" And the Holy Prophet said, "Yes, I am Muhammad." And he said, "Well, they told me that you've brought some religion." So he said, "Can you tell me please, what have you brought?" Now the Prophet is going to a battle. There's a whole army behind him. They're all moving. So one of the companions of the Prophet said to this guy, "Bro, chill, man. We're just on our way to the battlefield. This is not the time." You know what I'm saying? And the Holy Prophet said to his companion, "Wait." He's asked a very important question. And he says to this man, "Look, I've only brought two things. That's all I've brought." He says, "The only thing I've brought is I've only brought two things." He said, "The first thing that I've brought is to show you your responsibility towards your one Creator. And the second thing that I've brought is to show you your responsibility towards other human beings. I haven't brought anything else." And he went away. We are the ones who make Islam complicated. Very complicated. We have this image of God in our mind because we don't understand this concept of spirituality and this concept of creation as a manifestation of God. We think that there is God somewhere up there. I don't know. Pelu Asman, Biju Asman, Triju Asman, I don't know where. He's there somewhere. And then what he does, one day he thought, I think I'm going to create something. And so he created me. And then he put me on this world. And then he put all these booby traps for me. So if you do this, you're going to be punished. If you do this, you're going to be punished. And then he's going to do all of that. And then he's going to kill me. And then he's going to bring me back. And then he's going to say to me, okay, now give me your account. It's not like that, man. It's because we have a concept of God in our mind. We have not understood Allah in the way He needs to be understood. And the best way to understand Allah is to understand the Prophet of Allah. The Prophet in the end is a balanced individual who is in total equilibrium. On the one hand, he is وَمَا يَنْتِكُ عَنِ الْهَوَىٰ إِنْ هُوَ إِلَّا وَحْيٌ يُوحَىٰ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that He does not move His lips except whatever comes out of His mouth is not from Him. It is me who's talking. I have just used the lips of the Prophet to convey my message. وَمَا يَنْتِكُ عَنِ الْهَوَىٰ إِنْ هُوَ إِلَّا وَحْيٌ يُوحَىٰ. On the one hand, he has this high status. On the other hand, when somebody comes to the mosque of Medina to meet the Prophet and he sees a group of people sitting, he has to say, which one is Muhammad? Because he looks like everybody else. This is the man, when he walks the streets and the alleyways of Medina, he comes and he sees children that are playing. What does he do? He stops. He starts to play with them. He laughs with them. He jokes with them. That's the Holy Prophet. And he comes to a place where a young infant is there, and he takes the infant and he puts the infant on his lap. The infant urinates on his abba. The mother gets upset. This is the Prophet. How dare you urinate on the abba of the Prophet? And the Prophet says to the mother, what's wrong with you? Let him be. He has urinated on my abba. My abba can be washed. But your anger against this baby will have a lasting effect. Don't do it. This is the Prophet. Morality intertwined, showing us how we can feel the presence of Allah within ourselves. So much compassion, divinity and humanity integrated in one person, because he has a purpose. And the purpose and the goal is that he knows that through the conversion of concept into presence, through developing a moral and ethical character, these people have the capacity and the potential to become perfect human beings. This is the spirituality of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. One day, he's walking in the streets of Medina. And as he walks in the streets of Medina, Mazahir, one of his companions, and the son of Mazahir, Habib, they join him in this walk. Mazahir was a friend of the Holy Prophet. And he joins the Holy Prophet. And the Prophet was walking with Hassan and Hussein. And Habib joins Hassan and Hussein. As Mazahir and the Holy Prophet are walking, they come to a certain point, and the Prophet sits down. He sits down, and when the Prophet sits down, Mazahir says to the Holy Prophet, "Oh Prophet, what has happened?" He said, "Just wait. Call your son Habib towards me." Mazahir says to his son Habib, "The Holy Prophet wants to see you." Habib comes to the Holy Prophet. And as Habib comes to the Holy Prophet kisses the forehead of Habib ibn Mazahir. When he kisses the forehead of Habib ibn Mazahir, Mazahir now asks the Holy Prophet, O Prophet, why is it that you stopped to kiss the forehead of my son Habib? And the Prophet says to Mazahir, O Mazahir, did you not see that when we were walking, I saw that wherever Hussein used to walk, Habib would take the sand from the footsteps of Hussein and put that sand on his head. This is the kind of love that Habib has for Hussein. Oh Mazahir, this Habib of yours will be your son who will sacrifice himself for my Hussein. And this is the reason why I am kissing Habib ibn Mazahir. Habib is in the market in Kufa. He's in the market in Kufa and he was buying something. And he sees Muslim ibn Awsaja. And he says to Muslim ibn Awsaja, it seems that there are lots of people who are making preparations to go for a battle. What is going on? It says, Muslim says, it seems that there is some sort of a battle that is going to happen. I don't know what this battle is, but I think it is a battle of against Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. When Habib hears this, he gets disturbed. He goes and he says to Muslim ibn Awsaja, if it is a battle against Abu Abdullah al-Hussein, then I must go and help my Imam. He comes home. As he comes home, he sits on the table to have dinner with his family. And as he sits on the table, somebody knocks at the door. Habib ibn Mazahir goes to the door. He opens the door and the man at the door says to him, Habib, I am one of the messengers of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. When Habib hears this, he says, what is it? Is there a message that has come from my Imam? He says, yes, Imam Hussein has sent you a letter. Habib ibn Mazahir takes the letter of Abu Abdullah. He puts the letter to his chest. He starts to put it to his eyes and he starts to kiss the letter of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. And then Habib ibn Mazahir opens the letter of Imam Hussein, and the letter of Imam Hussein says, Salamun alaykum, O my friend. Oh my friend, my salams and peace and blessings be on you. It is me, Hussein, and I want you to know that I have been surrounded by enemies. It is time that I need your help. If it is at all possible, I want you to come and help me. And if you come and help me, my mother Fatima Zahra will ensure that there is a reward for you in the hereafter. When Habib read this letter, he started to cry. His wife says to Habib, oh Habib, what have you decided? Habib says to his wife, I am wondering what will happen to you. I haven't made my decision. I'm wondering what will happen to you. The wife's response is immediate. She says, oh Habib, if you do not want to go, then give me the permission so that I can go and help Abu Abdullah. When Habib sees this, he says to his wife, I have already made arrangements for myself to go, but Kufa is in such tense situation. I wanted to make sure that everybody in the household was not an agent of Ibn Ziyad. Habib now says to his wife, I will make myself go outside of Kufa. I've already asked my servants to wait for me outside of Kufa. Habib, in the middle of the night, he starts to move towards the alleyways of Kufa so he can go outside of Kufa and not be noticed. As Habib comes outside the Kufa, outside the borders of Kufa, he looks that his servant is standing there with his horse. But then he sees that his servant is saying something to the horse. The servant is saying to the horse, it seems that my master is late today. If he does not come in time, then I will mount your horse and I will go and help Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. When Habib hears this, he says to himself, what kind of atrocities and trouble are you in, O Abu Abdullah, that today when our servants are ready to come and help you? He frees the servant. He says to to him that you can go wherever you want. If you want to come with me to Karbala, I will take you to Karbala. Azadaro, Habib ibn Mazahir now comes to Karbo Bhala. He comes to Imam al-Hussein. When he comes to Imam al-Hussein, the historians write that the two friends meet in Karbala and they hug each other for a very long time. No words are uttered by the two friends. They just hug each other and they weep and they cry. Azadaro, Imam نے حبیب سے ملاقات کی. مورخ لکھتے ہیں یہ دوست بہت روئے, دونوں ملے, دیر سے گلے ملے اور بہت روئے. فضا نے ثانیہ زہرا کے پاس آئی. فضا نے ثانیہ زہرا کو خبر دی, کہتی ہے شہزادی حبیب ابن مظاہر آیا ہے, حبیب ابن مظاہر آیا ہے. زینب نے یہ سنا, کہاں فضا, حبیب کو میرا سلام بھیجو. فضا ایک مرتبہ حبیب کے پاس آتی ہے, حبیب ثانیہ زہرا نے سلام دیا ہے. حبیب نے جب یہ سنا ہے ایک مرتبہ رونے لگا. ثانیہ زہرا نے کہا کہ حبیب, ثانیہ زہرا خود آئی حبیب ابن مظاہر کے ساتھ بات کرنے کے لیے. کہتی ہے حبیب, حبیب تو آج بہت اچھے دن پہ آیا ہے. حبیب یہ بتا دو کہ اتنے دنوں سے زینب سن رہی تھی, کہ اتنے دنوں سے زینب سن رہی تھی کہ یزید کے اتنے لشکر آ جائے ہیں, ابن زیاد کے اتنے لشکر آ جائے ہیں. حبیب آج پہلی بار زینب کے دل کو تسکین ملی ہے کربو بلا میں, کیونکہ آج پہلی بار میں نے سنا کہ کوئی میرے بھائی کی نصرت کے لیے بھی آیا ہے. عزادارو, عاشور کے دن جب حبیب ابن مظاہر کو اجازت ملی ہے تو حبیب ایک مرتبہ میدان میں آئے ہیں. یہ ضعیف دوست حسین کا ایسا تھا کہ اس نے بہت ہی اچھی لڑائی لڑی ہے, مگر عزادارو ایک وقت آتا ہے کسی نے حبیب کے سر پہ تلوار ماری اور پھر ایک ملعون آگے بڑھتا ہے, حبیب کے سینے میں ایک نیزے کو پیوست کیا. حبیب گھوڑے پہ ڈگمگائے, ایک مرتبہ زمین پہ آئے, لیکن ابھی بھی جان میں جان باقی ہے. ایک مرتبہ حبیب نے چاہا کہ وہ اٹھے, لیکن مورخ لکھتے ہیں کہ ابن نمیر آگے بڑھتا ہے اور تلوار سے حبیب کے سر پر وار کیا. جب وہ تلوار سے ابن نمیر نے وار کیا ہے, اب ایک مرتبہ حبیب نے آواز دی, السلام علیکہ یا ابا عبداللہ, السلام علیکہ یا ابن رسول اللہ. حسین حبیب کا سلام سنا, زار زار رونے لگے, ہائے میرا حبیب. ایک مرتبہ دوڑ کے حبیب کے پاس آئے, حبیب کے سر کو اپنی آغوش میں رکھا, کہتے ہیں حبیب تیرے جیسا مومن میں نے نہیں دیکھا ہے. حبیب تو میرا وہ دوست ہے جو ایک رات میں پوری قرآن کی تلاوت کرتا تھا, کیا کوئی اور وصیت ہے؟ حبیب کہتا ہے ابا عبداللہ, حبیب کتنی بار یہ کہہ چکا ہے کہ اگر اللہ نے مجھے 70 مرتبہ شہادت دی اور اگر 70 مرتبہ مجھے واپس زندہ کیا تو اے حبیب, یہ حبیب ابا عبداللہ کو اپنی زندگی قربان کر دے گا. عزادارو, میں کہوں گا حبیب تو بڑا نصیب والا ہے کہ شہادت کے وقت تجھے امام حسین کی آغوش ملی, لیکن حبیب یہ میرا امام کچھ گھنٹوں کے بعد جب زمین کربلا پہ آئے گا تب ان کی آغوش میں کسی کا سر نہیں ہوگا. عزادارو, ایک بہن ہوگی جو تل زینبیہ پہ جائے گی اور نشیب کی طرف دیکھے گی کہ میرے ماں جائے کو کیا ہو. ماتم حسین یا حسین یا حسین یا حسین یا حسین.
يا حسين 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 کہتے تھے شاہ خدا اے میرے پیارے حبیب کہتے تھے شاہ خدا اے میرے پیارے حبیب دے گئے تم بھی فراق اے میرے پیارے حبیب کہتے تھے شاہ خدا اے میرے پیارے حبیب کہتے تھے شاہ خدا اے میرے پیارے حبیب دے گئے تم بھی فراق سینے پہ نیزے لگے سینکڑوں صدمے سہے سینے پہ نیزے لگے سینکڑوں صدمے سہے ساتھ نہ چھوڑا میرا اے میرے پیارے حبیب کہتے تھے شاہ خدا اے میرے پیارے حبیب کہتے تھے شاہ خدا اے میرے پیارے حبیب دے گئے تم بھی فراق اے میرے پیارے حبیب ہائے یہ تیری وفا بھولے گا کیوں کربلا ہائے یہ تیری وفا بھولے گا کیوں کربلا مجھ پہ ہے احسان تیرا اے میرے پیارے حبیب کہتے تھے شاہ خدا اے میرے پیارے حبیب کہتے تھے شاہ خدا اے میرے پیارے حبیب دے گئے تم بھی فراق اے میرے پیارے حبیب ایسی کنارہ کشی شرط محبت نہ تھی ایسی کنارہ کشی شرط محبت نہ تھی دوست پہ یہ کیا کیا اے میرے پیارے حبیب کہتے تھے شاہ خدا اے میرے پیارے حبیب کہتے تھے شاہ خدا اے میرے پیارے حبیب دے گئے تم بھی فراق اے میرے پیارے حبیب یہ ساتھ ہمیشہ رہے ساتھ نہ لیتے گئے ساتھ ہمیشہ رہے ساتھ نہ لیتے گئے تم کو یہ لازم نہ تھا اے میرے پیارے حبیب کہتے تھے شاہ خدا اے میرے پیارے حبیب کہتے تھے شاہ خدا اے میرے پیارے حبیب دے گئے تم بھی فراق اے میرے پیارے حبیب عاشق شبیر جاں تیرا نگہباں خدا عاشق شبیر جاں تیرا نگہباں خدا کرتی ہے قسمت جدا اے میرے پیارے حبیب کہتے تھے شاہ خدا اے میرے پیارے حبیب کہتے تھے شاہ خدا اے میرے پیارے حبیب دے گئے تم بھی فراق اے میرے پیارے حسین شہید کربلا وویلا شہید کربلا وویلا عباس علم دارم چی شد وویلا شہید کربلا وویلا قاسم دامدم چی شد وویلا شہید کربلا وویلا اکبر نوجوان چی شد وویلا شہید کربلا وویلا اصغر شرخرم چی شد وویلا شہید کربلا وویلا رحم اللہ سورة المبارکة الفاتحة
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليك يا رسول الله يا محمد بن عبد الله السلام عليك يا أمير المؤمنين يا علي بن أبي طالب السلام عليك يا خديجة الكبرى أم المؤمنين السلام عليك يا فاطمة الزهراء سيدتي نساء العالمين السلام عليك يا حسن بن علي المجتبى السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله يا حسين بن علي الشهيد بكربلاء السلام عليك يا علي بن الحسين زين العابدين السلام عليك يا محمد بن علي الباقر السلام عليك يا جعفر بن محمد الصادق. السلام عليك يا موسى ابن جعفر الكاظم. السلام عليك يا علي بن موسى الرضا. السلام عليك يا محمد بن علي الجواد. السلام عليك يا علي بن محمد الهادي. السلام عليك يا حسن بن علي العسكري. السلام عليك يا حجة الله يا ابن الحسن يا صاحب الزمان. السلام عليك يا شريك القرآن. السلام عليك يا كعبة الإيمان. السلام عليك يا خليفة الرحمن. السلام عليك يا إمام الإنس والجان ورحمة الله وبركاته.